Can we survive the heat death of the universe?
One day, the last star will die. Galaxies will dissolve. A place without life, purpose, or meaning. Lame and depressing. But there might be a loophole in the laws of physics. Loophole.
For a future civilization to survive the death of everything.
And go on having fun and internet arguments for Googles of years.
To explain how this works, let's travel 100 trillion years into the future. Here, in this dying universe, we find the Noxins. Last civilization still alive. Compared to them, we're cave dwellers. They've solved physics and can do things we could only dream of. Still, the same rules of reality apply to them as to us.
The Noxins like being alive and don't want to vanish with the last stars.
So, they're enacting the plan to keep consciousness around forever.
The first issue is energy. If you want to keep a civilization running, you need a lot of it.
With 5 hours of the full energy emitted by the sun, we could power present-day humanity for 10 billion years. So the Noxins harvest the last stars and build a gigantic complex of batteries. Few 100 trillion years.
So, now the hard part of the plan begins. The Noxins need to change the nature of life itself.
Being alive means doing things, and very importantly, thinking. And each of those things costs energy. But how much energy?
There's an idea from a famous paper we'll mercilessly simplify and call Dyson's cold thoughts.
In a nutshell, the idea is that the lower your temperature, the less energy it takes to do something. Your brain runs at a temperature of 310 degrees above absolute zero. I should wear a funny hat. Your brain needs 20 joules of energy to think a simple thought that takes 1 second to think. If your brain worked at colder temperatures, say 155 Kelvin instead of 310. First of all, you'd think at half the speed, and the same thought would now take 2 seconds. But in return, the energy you'd need to think the thought now halves, from 20 joules to only 10. If Dyson's cold thoughts are correct, then the colder you go, the less energy you need to think a thought. Conclusion, scientific principle, inverse relation. At 1/10 your current temperature, the same thought would take 10 seconds. But only require 2 joules. And this has wild implications. Efficiency.
Because it means that we actually might be able to play this game forever.
Cooling down a living organism isn't easy. If we put you in a fridge, you'll die from hypothermia.
The reality is that this plan will be impossible to do with flesh and blood.
So the Noxins have to take a huge step. leave biology behind,
and transfer their minds into some kind of artificial brain, or even better, become completely virtual minds.
And build a digital world as good or better than the real one.
But remember, we are 100 trillion years in the future, and the laws of physics should allow this.
So now we have a pretty big battery with a huge but finite amount of energy.
A lot of brains, or a computer that can cool down.
Well, this is at the core of the plan. How do you stay around with limited energy forever? The central paradox. Forever paradox. Sure, they'll be slower, but this isn't relevant to them.
The Noxins activate their batteries and start cooling down their brains. The start of the true plan.
The way they do it is extremely simple. Simple way.
How do you cool down a light bulb? Well, you unplug it so it can radiate away its heat.
So the Noxins switch off their brains and start to hibernate.
They enter a state with no activity, thoughts, or even dreams, and let their bodies radiate heat away to cool down a bit.
Thought speed, slower. Energy use, less. They think slower, and each thought uses up less energy from their battery.
During the days, they're alive and awake, doing all the stuff they want to do.
And during the night, they're switched off, lost in dreamless non-existence.
At the beginning, the nights will be very short and the days extremely long.
But warm things shed heat much faster than cold ones.
So as the Noxin brains become colder, the nights will have to grow longer and longer. The trade-off, the rising cost of eternity.
So how long could they actually do this? And how is this a way to live forever? The reason Dyson's cold thoughts are so incredibly powerful is how incredibly they scale.
As eons pass in the dying universe, the Noxins keep cooling.
After 100 trillion years of this cycle, their temperature has only dropped to 230 degrees above absolute zero.
This is frankly just an unsettling idea. What is way scarier than being dead? Being alive forever.
Maybe our Noxins delete their memories regularly. Coping mechanism 1. Delete memory.
Maybe they create new worlds and new life.
Maybe they just activate their pleasure centers and experience perfect bliss forever.
As time keeps passing, and the Noxins keep going through their cycle of day and night.
After quadrillions of years, the corpses of former stars, white dwarfs, turn yellow, then orange, then red, then black.
And the Noxins? They're still around.
But for them, nothing's changed. That conscious experience is just as fluid and vibrant. Your conversations, thoughts, adventures, and experiences feel exactly the same as before. The maintenance of internal life.
And while the cosmic nights are now a quartillion years long, it doesn't matter to them.
Because during the night, the Noxins don't experience anything, so no matter how long the nights are, they pass in an instant.
The Noxins experience a perfectly fluid existence.
Their battery has only a tiny fraction of its original charge.
But the Noxins now need so little energy that it seems larger than ever before. Or has it?
Whether Dyson's cold thoughts can make you live forever depends on one thing: resetting the challenge.
Can you keep cooling forever, or does the universe force you to hit a true limit? The ultimate physical constraint, true limit. Dark energy might eventually make the universe hit a temperature limit of 1/1,000,000th degree above absolute zero.
A Google years. The Noxins will cool to that level after a Google years, but then they can't cool any further.
And their battery will begin to run out.
The second major constraint, microphysical. Quantum noise might just destroy their brains.
Quantum noise.
All matter may decay into iron.
We don't know. Forever is a long time. But even if the Noxins don't get a true forever, not true forever.
The amazing thing is that the laws of physics don't forbid life to adapt. The grounding fact, the possibility, don't forbid.
Even to a completely dead universe, the magnitude of the adaptation. And it would mean that life and consciousness aren't a brief accident in cosmic history. The final chapter of existence itself. The ultimate purpose, poetic.
Giving the universe meaning, purpose, and hope. Maybe forever.
Noxins, slowing their very existence to a crawl to win against the death of time.
A perfect, fluid existence built from pure data and cold, patient logic.
A flicker of life, waiting out the slow, cosmic decay.
Until the next cosmic day, and the next one, and the one after that.